What is going on, everybody? It's the Naughty Investor here, coming at you with another video. Now, in today's video, I want to go over Bitcoin. I want to go over where Bitcoin's heading in the current market sentiment with Bitcoin. But before we even get into that, I want to go over the altcoins. I want to go over the general trend of the market cap for cryptocurrency. Today, we are at $332 billion. We were at $250 billion not too long ago. So we have had some really nice recovery lately. We are definitely on the uptick, okay? Now, the way market cycles work, it doesn't always go bear market, bull market. Bear market, bull market. It's not always how it works. There are periods, right, of consolidation, of sideways consolidation, of just, stagnation, kind of moving sideways. In periods like that will generally be, up 10%, down 8%, up 12%, down 11%, right? That's consolidation. So it's definitely possible before we get into the true bull market that we do have a period of consolidation. It's healthy. It builds support. It gets more investors interested. So definitely look out for that. I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's too early to tell. You need a couple more days to at least a couple weeks to really determine whether or not we are truly entering the bull market. But I definitely think it's possible. I'm not saying it's not happening. It's definitely possible that we are entering a true bull market. It's also possible we're going to have consolidation sideways and then enter the bull market. But the bull market will come. Crypto, of course, has, the entire market cap was almost at $1 trillion. It went down to 250 billion, all right? That is a substantial loss, and it's very possible that we bottomed. We hit the bottom at 250 billion. We saw institutional money started to get interested, and now we're up to over 300 billion. So definitely just keep that in the back of your mind that we were at the bottom, or at least very close to it. All right, so keep that in the back of your mind when you're making your trading and you're making your entry points into different cryptocurrencies. Now, I want to go over some gainers on the list and some of the biggest gainers in a moment, and then we'll get into Bitcoin. All right, so Ethereum up almost 6% today, XRP up 6.48%, Bitcoin Cash 5.45%, Litecoin 3.45%, EOS up almost 1%, Cardano up almost 11%, Stellar up 16%, Neo 9%, IOTA up almost 18%, and Monero up almost 5%. A lot of other cryptos there too. A lot of the big players gained a lot too, but even some of the smaller players today gained quite a bit, all right? Definitely a lot of smaller players up today. Today's biggest winner, BitShares, all right, up almost 21%. Right behind that is Bitcoin Private, which is it's a Bitcoin fork. I don't really talk too much about forks in my channel. I'm not too keen on them. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm not saying they're good either. I just don't really cover them that often. So Bitcoin Private up about 20%. And then after that is Bytecoin up almost 20% as well, up 19.10%. And you see the list: Dragon Chain 15%, NEM up 13%, Mithril. The Mithril bull run has not ended. I'm really surprised, but it will end. I am looking for a entry point on Mithril. Again, you don't want to buy the high. I'm waiting for a pullback to get in on Mithril. So let's get into Bitcoin. What the heck's going on with Bitcoin, and where's this heading, and what should happen? All right, so before we get into this, let's just put up some moving averages, all right? Put up two moving averages. I'm going to make this one the 200 day. Going to be red. And I want to make this one the 50 day. Going to be green. All right, so there you go. You can see we have the moving averages up. And right over here was a really, really bearish movement, okay? We saw the 50-day break below the 200-day, and of course, prices declined right about there. We saw prices really dipping down quite a bit. But now you see, again, there's still a ton of separation in here, okay? There's still a ton. But we're starting to see prices kind of move, or the moving averages, I should say, starting to move sideways more, starting to level out, okay? That's what we want to see. We want to see this red line here start to level out a bit, started to curve inward, while we want to see this green line that I'm using with the red marker because I don't want to go and have to change it, but whatever, I'll change it. This green line here, we want to see this kind of uptick. We want to see this kind of, it's not going to happen yet, and there's no way for me to show you exactly how it's going to happen because I don't have enough space on the board. I mean, there's just not enough time there yet. The way it's looking now, it's looking like it's going to happen within the coming weeks to the coming months, okay? So that's definitely a bullish sign, because when that happens, when the reversal of this crossing right here happens, that is a huge bull flag. That's a huge indication that money is going to come into the market and that we're going to really see Bitcoin break its all-time high, definitely get past the 20K Bitcoin. Very, very possible, okay? A lot of people think it's not possible. I think it very much is possible. Cryptocurrency moves very quickly. Still a very young market. Still a lot of room to grow, unlike some other markets out there, okay? So definitely watch out for that. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the whole overbuying versus overselling, okay? So Bitcoin has key resistance levels at 10K. We know this. But the good news is we're nowhere near overbuying territory yet, all right? You could see it right over here. We're still nowhere near overbuying. Again, if you're not familiar with RSI, I will link my RSI video in the description. You could check it out. But we're still nowhere near overbuying. Overbuying has to go over 70, all right? It has to get over the 70 mark over here. And then what happens is expect a pullback. Because if you look back in the history, look over here. Overbuying, pullback. Okay, you see it reflected in the price. Overbuying, and then I'll change this to red so you can see the pullback. And then you see the pullback. It gets down to over here. So that's usually how RSI works. You don't want to buy during periods of overbuying. You want to buy during periods of overselling. Look what would happen if you had bought, right here. We just dipped overselling, and you would have been on the upside because you would have got it at 7,000 or just under 7,000, and you would be you could have made a trade actually if you wanted to do a trade at 10K. Right now, here we are seeing healthy buying, not overbuying, but healthy buying. And again, we have a key resistance level at 10K, but usually what happens with RSI, it's not like it just slightly goes over 70, it just crashes and we have a pullback. That's usually not what happens. Usually it'll go into over 70 RSI, into overbuying territory, and it'll kind of move sideways a little bit, depends on how much speculative money's coming in. And then once that happens, then it'll pull back. And those pullbacks are fine. Those are healthy. We don't want to see a price just go straight up. That's a bubble. We want to see prices move up, move down, move up, but overall being an uptrend. And of course, Bitcoin overall is an uptrend. And it's even very possible that we're coming to a true bull market after months of a bear market, okay? It's very possible that Bitcoin hit a bottom, that cryptocurrencies as a whole hit a bottom. It's also possible that we're going to consolidate a bit more for a few more weeks until we see that bull market. But it's, again, just as possible that this is the bull market and we're going to start to see huge gains in the coming weeks, okay? So just to summarize, markets are healthy. I'm happy. We're starting to see recovery. We're on an upswing. We see a lot of institutional investors taking interest, starting to notice, putting money in. We see people like, huge institutional investors taking interest in cryptocurrency, huge hedge funds, huge mutual fund type, people, managers and things like that. So definitely some great news in that regard. Bitcoin, what's going to happen with Bitcoin? Look, I mean, we need this crossing. We need we could go up in price, but we're not going to go up, insane amounts until we see that bull flag, until we see that golden cross, all right? But it's definitely going to happen. I see the line starting to flatline, and we're going to see an uptick with this green line very soon. So I thank you so much for your viewership. I thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, share it. Helps me out a ton. I will keep you up to date with cryptocurrency news, price action, and reviews. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.